This week I was invited by one of the professors at Georgia State University in the vocal department to teach his class about the importance of balance in the body. You know, as a vocal instructor, he had learned about me through a student who had a terrible jaw pain. She was a senior getting ready to graduate, but she was going to have to take a year off if her jaw didn't get better. And she did all the traditional things. She could iced it and massaged it, medicated it, and so nothing was helping her. So one of her teachers, one of her vocal teachers told her about go see Dr. Kelly. So she came in, I looked at her, we did what I usually do and helped talk to her about inflammation and some of the dietary changes that would help her turn off the inflammation. We also did some little spinal adjusting and balance her out. And one of the big problems she had was she had fallen arches. When I looked at her, you can look at somebody, tell right away how out of balance they are. If you look at their shoulders and you look at their hips, and if they're not level, or if you look at these, somebody's seam on their shirt, if it's not straight, usually you're going to find most everybody leans to one side or the other. And so when you're tipped sideways, that's not necessarily scoliosis, but when you got that little tip, that affects the hips and that affects the jaw. When the hips go out, the jaws are going to be irritated. And her hips were out because basically she had fallen arches. There's 3 arches in your feet. There's a medial, a lateral, and a transverse arch. And if they pronate or supinate, if they get out of position, it's going to affect how you're standing and you get that twist. So the thing that helped her the most after the adjustment, that didn't quite do it until her shoe inserts that fixed her arches came in. Within 1 week of putting the shoe inserts in, fixed the TMJ, she's graduating. She went on to graduate. So I work with other singers. I work with several bands, several groups, and it just sort of helps people. I help people get themselves in sync. Being in balance is really quite simple, and a big part are things you can do yourself. When you're walking out of your adjustment, when I first started to do orthotics are shoe inserts. They're custom made for your feet. I used to go to chiropractors all the time, and my feet would hurt, my legs would hurt, my knees would hurt, and I kept going and going, and they'd help me. But after a while, it got to be, why aren't my adjustments holding? What can I do? And I kept asking doctor after doctor until I met someone who does what I do now, and he said, well, look at your feet. You've got fallen arches. Yes, I had flat feet. He said, you're going to walk out of your adjustment. I can get you perfectly balanced on the table, but as soon as you leave here, you're going to walk out of your adjustment again. You may hold a day, a month, a year, it may hold longer, but you're going to literally walk out of your adjustment. So 22 years ago, he had some custom shoe inserts made for me by foot levelers, and basically I've held my adjustments ever since. My feet don't hurt, my knees don't hurt. I lose more customers, more patients when I give them orthotics that used to have back pain and foot pain and knee pain, because you'll heal yourself. It just helps the adjustments hold better.